What's happening, Facebook?
Good morning.
Good morning. As you can see, Jules and I are still in our pajamas. Every morning, pretty much, I won't say every, that's a pretty definitive, but most mornings, we get up and we have tea or coffee together and we talk about life and we get curious about what we learned the day before or what we learned during our sleep and our dreams, even. And this morning, we were just talking about, I'm going to say less is more, or this idea of feeling overwhelmed. Um, but I want you to explain it from your point of view.
What sparked the conversation was last night. I was up kind of late watching a video from Matt Kahn, and I was like completely drawn in. It was so good. It felt like he was just speaking exactly to what I needed to hear. And one of the things that he said, and I'm paraphrasing, is that if a spiritual teaching does not make you feel like you can slow down and take a breath, it doesn't give you a sigh of relief, then maybe it's not the right teaching for you.
Mm.
And I was like, I felt like my mind was blown away. I feel like sometimes I've gotten caught up in being really putting a lot of value, I guess, onto busyness or doing more. And when he said that, I was like, oh,
That's heavy.
I don't have to.
That's freeing.
Yeah, it was so freeing.
Suddenly, it's like in an instant, in like a handful of words, it's like heaviness becomes lightness.
Yeah.
That's what I experienced when you said that.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Heaviness becomes lightness. Yeah, so then we were talking because yesterday in our podcast, Billy had brought up a really good point about different stages of life, and sometimes when we're in survival mode, that it's really challenging and overwhelming to think about adding yet one more thing that now I've got to do in order to be healthy or achieve this goal or to change my life. And he really put out the invitation that maybe it's just about eliminating something. Maybe it's just about eliminating one stressful thing that doesn't serve you, that is just completely bringing you overwhelmment, and how freeing and life-changing that could possibly be.
I'm going to go deeper with this, and I'm going to say right now, parts of me are already coming up and projecting you, the viewer's excuse to that. But I can't give anything up. But if I stop doing this thing or if I stop doing that thing, life will cease to happen the way that it needs to happen. So I have to keep doing. You don't understand, Julie, what it's like to be a mom, Julie. You don't understand what it's like, Billy, to own a business and have all these employees I have to take care of, and then I have to go home and meet my wife's needs and my kids' needs. You don't know what that's like. That's a fun projection to play with, I think. And I for me, when I started taking on this less is more approach, and when I started deciding to remove things from my life, one of the things that happened was suddenly, like Matt said, things start becoming still. And I wasn't okay with the stillness. I wasn't okay with just sitting in silence. What's wrong? Nobody's here. There's nobody here to validate me. There's nobody here to entertain. There's nobody here to make me feel important. There's nobody here whose needs I can feel. Fill. Fill. I know. It happens. And so we do stuff, right? We do stuff. It's just stuff. I'm going to keep doing busy work, like Julie said. I'm going to keep running around. I'm going to keep juggling this fucking circus of a life that I have, because in some way it makes me feel important, needed, wanted. It gets me attention.
Yeah.
And when when I start removing those things and I start de-stressing and decluttering and getting away from feeling overwhelmed, well, now who am I? Because there's a part of me that's, my identity is attached to being overwhelmed. There's a big part of, the identity that says, well, if I stop doing all these things, who am I? And you might not even be thinking that on a like conscious, like front of your mind type of thought. But there are deeper parts of you that are refusing to let that shit go.
Right.
Because they believe
they'll die.
Literally, they believe that like they need that. They need that drop of dopamine that comes from whatever you're doing.
Yeah. I think for me, I hear what you're saying with it being important, and I think that there's probably big parts of me that have felt that way, and certainly now I recognize there are many parts of me that feel important by being busy and whatever. But I was thinking back to certain times in my life when I was really starting to change and to grow and to take more responsibility for my experience. And the big thing for me, why I stayed pretty busy, I mean, I was a very busy person. I loved being busy. That was like, that was like my drug of choice. So, but
I feel that.
I was absolutely afraid to face my life. I hated my life. Ultimately, I hated it. I hated my life. I was not happy at all. And so I feel that in that stage of life when I was starting to really wake up to the reality that, I actually have responsibility, I actually have power over my life, I actually have the ability to make choices and to change this if I wanted to. I didn't really want to slow down, because every time I slowed down, I realized how unhappy I was, and that was just not easy to face.
Yeah.
But then I did. I slowed down. It was a gradual surrender, and
but to that point, maybe that's the best kind of surrender.
The gradual one.
The gradual one. Maybe it's a process of incremental change. Maybe if you open up that Pandora's box all at once, and that monster's going to come out and paralyze you. So maybe the gradual surrender is okay.
Oh yeah, I think it's okay, for sure. I don't know that there's anything wrong with the Pandora's box either.
There's not. But there should be a warning, like a big warning on that box. Right? There should be a big warning that says, you can either gently open this box up.
Do you think it really makes a difference? I mean, how you creep open the lid, or if you just open it wide up? I mean, does it really make a difference?
I just feel like there needs to be some sort of just the same way a client signs a release form.
The universe hands you a waiver.
Yeah,
sign here, please.
Yeah, sign here.
I think you signed that contract before you came here.
Ooh, touche. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah.
Thanks for that reminder.
I think that is, yeah.
You feel good?
Mm-hmm.
So those are just some thoughts. This is what we do.
Yeah.
This is our typical morning tea time, if you will. And we wanted to share it. And we want to start sharing more things with you guys outside of the podcast. Start doing some live videos. Start doing some non-live videos. Start sharing some blogs and just some ideas. Because I believe that the more that we share, the more we can recognize how much more similar we are than we are different. I believe a lot of the things that you're watching and viewing and partaking in on social media, especially something like Facebook, is telling you that we're all so different. And that creates, for me, my experience is that creates a big separation between us.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, maybe part of what makes the world a beautiful place is that we really don't have to agree.
Mm. And what if we are all God and we're just talking to, ourselves all the time?
Yeah,
Like,
we're
that's
just all
kind of
voices
fun.
in God's head.
That's kind of fun, right? Because now suddenly it's like, oh, I'm God arguing with myself through Julie. But Julie's God too. Why am I arguing with God? Wait, I am God. Oh no, the box is open. But I signed the waiver. I signed the waiver a long time ago.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening. We hope that maybe some of you got something out of this talk. We love to hear your comments about feeling overwhelmed, about less is more, about any of the things that we talked about.
Yeah, and I feel that my invitation to myself, and perhaps this will resonate with you or anyone else, is anytime you're thinking about taking something on, I'm inviting myself to really sit for a moment and ask, does this make me feel like I can slow down? Or does this make me feel more overwhelmed and like, I gotta get all this stuff done? So which part am I feeding?
Feeding. Which part am I feeding? That's a really good question to ask.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out.
Good. I can't wait to hear the results
Yeah.
from your self-conducted experiment.
Yeah.
So on that note, guys, we're out of here. Enjoy your Thursday, and we'll be back. Peace.